Somebody is playing with the numbers. Somebody does not have the numbers right. So I'm going to label this one, thousands of Jamaicans are slated to return to the thousands of Jamaicans are slated to return from the United States of America forcefully. They will be deported. A couple of weeks ago, the United States of America put out a list, and that list said that 5,320 Jamaicans were already sitting ducks, that their deportation orders have already been signed by a immigration judge in a immigration court. It is just a matter of rounding them up, finding them, and deporting them. We joked about it and said a lot of those Jamaicans are going to run. Fast forward a few weeks later, it was confirmed in Jamaica by Johnson Smith that 2,500 Jamaicans are ready to be deported from the United States of America. And that was on May 29th of 2025. But if you check May 28th of 2025, it said in the same Jamaica press that 4,000 deportees are ready to be sent from the United States of America to Jamaica. So people, me confused or them confused? Let me tell you, you can, just so everybody knows that I am not the confused one, on May 29th, the Jamaica Observer printed the headline, Johnson Smith, which is the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator, Kamina Johnson Smith, speaks during a press conference at the office of the Prime Minister. This was Thursday, May 29th. And the headline that was printed in Jamaica major news network, The Observer, said that 2,500 Jamaicans to be deported from the US. Now, then you go over to the Gleaner, and the Gleaner's headline, published May 28th, a day before, said 4,000 deportees for JA. You can go look this up, you know. As I'm speaking it, you could just type it into Google and it will bring up the actual articles. In this particular one, it says United States authorities have signaled to the Jamaican government that they have almost 4,000 Jamaicans to be deported as part of the sweeping immigration crackdown by President Donald Trump. And in that same article, you will see Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang. All right, let's get into the details of all these, right? Because see, what is going to be happening here is whether you'll take it 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, thousands of Jamaicans are on their way back to Jamaica as we speak, right? So, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator Kamina Johnson Smith says that approximately 2,500 Jamaicans have been confirmed for deportation from the United States. Johnson Smith provided the update while speaking at a press conference at the office of the Prime Minister. That figure, they said, was given as she moved to dismiss reports that some 4,000 Jamaicans are set to return to the island as part of President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Me have to laugh because it's like even our media personnel are fighting against their own or each other to get the proper information out there, right? We recognize that yesterday there was a headline in a particular publication, she said, which generated significant interest, stating that 4,000 Jamaicans were to be returned. Miss Lady, if they could just stop being so... there's something about Jamaican politicians, they will never ever say that they are wrong or that they got it wrong, or they will never point to their counterparts and say, you are wrong. How easy would it have been for Minister Kamina to say, Minister Johnson Smith to say, listen, the Gleaner posted a headline yesterday that said, that would have been too easy, and it was a mistake. That's all. It takes somebody like me, SouFlo, to read multiple articles, to spread all of them across multiple multiple laptop screens, to compare the information and to say, hold up. So how come one is saying 2,500, one is saying 4,000, and they were both published within hours of each other? Anyways, she said that she understands that a particular publication which generated significant public interest stated that 4,000 Jamaicans were to be returned to the island. She says, allow me to be clear that 4,000 Jamaicans are not being returned now. For some time, it has been in the public domain that the U.S. authorities had close to 4,000 persons in their records with final orders for deportation against their names. Well, SouFLoTV can tell you that what was printed in the United States of America press when they did a spreadsheet telling how many people have deportation orders from different countries. The list was broken down by countries. They said Haiti had thousands and thousands of them. Dominican Republic, not Puerto Rico, but other places. You get the drift what I'm saying. Jamaica was on the list. Jamaica's number was 5,320, I believe it was. Right? Well, she's saying that for some time it has been in the public domain that the U.S. authorities had close to 4,000 persons in their records with final deportation orders against their names. And it is now our understanding that approximately 2,500 have now been confirmed for removal over a period of time, to be determined by logistics, their own legal processes, and other factors. That means some of them might be fighting it and have an attorney who is able to delay the process for them. Some of them, they are waiting for Jamaica to say, yes, this is our citizen, because the U.S. cannot just deport people as fast as they want to. Jamaican authorities have to confirm that, yes, this is our citizen. He was born here. She was born here. So that Jamaica, and we are willing to accept them back. So before the U.S. can send them there. And then what date the plane is leaving. Do we have a full load to go? We can't just send a plane with one. We need a plane with 50, 30, 20, 100. The last plane that came into Jamaica came in about a week and a half ago, prior to this particular video right here, and that carried 107. An increased number from the 33 we had seen previously. So she said that now 2,500 more have been confirmed for removal, and this will be determined by logistics and by their own legal processes and other factors. She sought to assure that the deportation of Jamaicans is not a new phenomenon, and she noted that the government remains committed to honoring its international obligations to receive its citizens while safeguarding national security and public safety. In other words, then, they have an obligation. Whatever deals they have with the United States of America, they are a part of that group of countries that says, send our people back. We will take our deportees, right? And we have an obligation to uphold that. There are countries who say, don't send nobody here. We're not taking them. You deal with them, not Jamaica. So she's letting Jamaicans know that. And on the other hand, she's also saying, don't be alarmed, because Jamaicans are deported from the U.S. all the time. And our main goal is, while we are upholding our end of the bargain with the U.S. to take our deportees back, which means they will be coming back to the island, we will also be safeguarding the security and public safety in Jamaica. So don't worry. Oh, a lot of criminal deportees are coming back to the island, and this is going to be scary because crime is going to be on the rise, murder, kidnapping, and all these things. Can I tell you that the headline that was printed that sparked this from Johnson, that headline in the Gleaner said, 4,000 deportees for Jamaica. Sex offenders, other ex-convicts are among those to get the boot under Trump administration crackdown. And that was printed the day before Minister Kamina actually said all this. Now, the Foreign Affairs Minister further noted that the government has expanded the national reintegration and rehabilitation strategy to coordinate reintegration services for these deportees. I guess they're going to be helping deportees now more than ever before, because a lot of the times when deportees come back to the island of Jamaica and end up in things like becoming a part of gang life and crime and violence, it is simply a way of survival for them. Hell, them fling you out of the country that you know how to survive in, be it criminal or otherwise. And now you're in a strange land completely, don't know how the place run. You have to go get in where you fit in. And of course, unfortunately, but realistically, self-preservation and survival takes precedence over everything all the time, right? So she's assuring us that they will be working harder to reintegrate these people and rehabilitate these people back into our society in Jamaica safely, so enough of them not have to turn to crime and violence. The government has expanded the National Reintegration and Rehabilitation Strategy. On May 5th, Cabinet approved the establishment of a National Technical Working Group on voluntary and involuntary migrants. That means those who were forced to come back and those who came back willingly. Recognizing that not only is the grouping not homogeneous in its and of itself, but we now have a subgrouping of those who are returning of their own motion. They want to return, determining the circumstances in the US to not be where they wish to remain. And those who are being returned, those who have the decision made for them, nicely put, those who Uncle Sam fling out of the US send back Ghana yard. So this technical group is chaired by the Planning Institute of Jamaica. Oversight is provided by the Ministries of National Security and Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and the technical group comprises of several ministries, departments and agencies, as well as civil society partners. This is what she said. Now, to me, myself, SouFLoTV, all that right there is just political jargon and sound like a bunch of mixy-matchy, maxi-mixy. You know, Sally sells seashells down by the seashore kind of talk. Nobody don't really need to know about oversight provided by Ministries of National Security and Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and technical groups comprised of several ministries and departments and agencies, as well as civil society partners, volunteers, etc. That sounds like too much raw information for me. If me step off of the plane, I want to know where to go to get some help, because I haven't been back to this island in a long time and I'm trying to change my life. Them fling me out of the US, or I voluntarily departed from the US. Me come back on my yard. I have landed in Jamaica. Where do I go for help? I don't need to be going through all this and listen to all this. That's frustrating to anybody. And if you send the people them running around and around and around and around and around and around in a circle, them are going to go to the safest, easiest thing, or what they deem to be the safest but easiest thing that is available to them. After all, time is of the essence. When you land off that plane, and you don't have no help, no backative, no support system, no nothing, within a few hours of getting off that plane, your back and your belly start kiss each other. That means your belly start make sounds. I wonder which part some food there. Me hungry. John no star, me thirsty. You understand? And then you start get sleepy. I wish part me I go lay down tonight. These kind of things. The basics. Tell them how to get to the basics. I have yet to see a Jamaican major news media entity front page post a couple of places where people can directly go or call this number and you will be picked up today and be delivered to some level of help. A lot of you might not know that this is real, but it is. A lot of deportees that are women go into the sex trade. them end up as cell crutches, whether it be back road, front road, or however the case may be. Online, yes, them use all the major platforms that we use on social media. Money can be transferred now, and not just Cash App and PayPal. You can pay people on Facebook now. You can pay them through WhatsApp. I just found out yesterday. You can pay people through all kinds of lines. So people, the woman them turn to these types of trades in the meantime to make a living. Those are those who are coming back with no support system, right? A lot of them. And then there are the men. And a lot of those will turn to gangs, because gangs come in like family until it's time to do the dirt, pull a trigger, bust a gun, and then they find themselves in imminent danger, either with our security forces who will dirt them, or we find themselves caught up with the others who are around them, like piranhas in a tank, right? So them turn to crime and violence. And then there are others who them not too well in a them head and them need help, because them schizophrenic, them bipolar, them manic depressive, them this, that, and the other, and there is no system in place to help them to get the help they need to reintegrate them back into the society as they land in Jamaica. So all this talk of the government has expanded the national reintegration and rehabilitation strategy, and cabinet approved the establishment of national technical working groups on voluntary and involuntary. Listen, that not help nobody. Print on front page A, B, C. Easy for everybody to understand where to go to get some help when you land in Jamaica. Cause whether it's 5,000, 4,000, or 2,500, thousands are coming back to the island. Let's not confuse this. Or maybe they are confusing the information because really nothing is in place. Because that's what they do all the time. It's like when they get money, 10 million US dollars, and then the 10 million US dollars is sent through 50 different accounts. And before you know it, everybody don't know where the damn 10 million US dollars went when the 10 million US dollars was supposed to be to help the people, etc., etc. I think it's the same strategy that's going on here. If it's not, just post the information straight to the front of your Observer, Gleaner, Loop, all these news media houses. Broadcast it on TVJ, CVM, etc. so the people know. They went on to say that its mandate is to coordinate reintegration services and to ensure that these returnees are supported in a structured and sustainable manner, and that this includes their reception, their verification, their health checks, their security vetting, and access to social and legal support where necessary. That sounds all well and good. Does anybody remember when SouFLoTV said right here on SouFLoTV that Jamaica needs to have one special location where every person who is deported back to the island must go to this particular building? A simple process. You are picked up at the airport. Your people them can't get you yet. You have to go through this building. Let's call it Building A. It's the big white building located on XYZ Lane. You're picked up by a bus. You're brought to this building. Everybody is processed through this building. This is where the health checks are done. You have to stay there for a day or two because screening has to be done. A medical screening has to be done. Mental health screening has to be done. Security levels of segregation have to be done. And I hate to use the word segregation, but the word in itself simply means to divide by groups, right? So those who are coming back HIV positive and all kind of other diseases, them go over there so in a one group. Those who are coming back mentally ill, as in schizophrenic, bipolar disorder but going through a manic episode, etc., etc. Those who require medications for their minds to be stable and etc. Them go over there. So those who went to the US, stayed a short time, didn't get in any trouble, they simply just got deported, they go in a different group, right? And then you start to break the people group down by who's going to be requiring more help, who's going to have to stay at our temporary lodgings, and who is allowed to go. Some people are going to say, yo, let me out of the building, man. My family, them are wait for me. You can then tell these people you have cleared, you can return, welcome home, call your people them to come pick you up. And then there will be those who will have nobody to come pick them up. And we're going to have to help those people even more along the way. This is the only way that true reintegration services will work. If they cannot pinpoint a location where people can go for the type of reintegration I just spoke about in this video, then they are lying. Because what we Jamaicans know is when the plane land and the people them come into the country off of the plane is a short processing and they are on their way. A lot of them end up out a door with nowhere to go, nobody to come pick them up, no support. Fend for yourself. Now we're talking about putting the rest of us in danger, because when you put a man in a position to where he is forced to do every and anything in order to survive, you never know what the outcome of that might be. Desperation make people do desperate things. So we are trying to ease the desperation then. Johnson Smith also used the opportunity to ensure Jamaicans who are concerned about the potential security threats that returning residents may pose, and said, quote unquote, monitoring the detention measures are in place. Monitoring and detention measures are in place, and they will be applied, she said. Again, how? How? Are you telling me that when somebody does 10, 15, 20, 30 years in prison in the United States of America for murder, domestic abuse, etc., transportation of huge amounts of drugs, obviously they're tied to a drug network which they will probably be seeking to reconnect to once they are settled. Are you telling me that these people are placed on a list where they are monitored? Because they should be. Especially those who did extensive time in overseas prisons for violent crimes. They should be monitored. Okay, she is saying monitoring and detention measures are in place. We only hope so. She also said they will be applied, and again, stakeholders play a key role in helping us as partners in this reintegration and return process, and undoubtedly there will be further updates on these matters. They always talk about stakeholders. I want to know, who are the stakeholders? Who is holding stake in deportees returning from the United States of America? You see, some of this language I think is just to confuse people. Call me confused. Who is the stakeholders? Somebody please explain to me in the comment section, please. So she went on to say that Jamaica remains committed and the government remains committed together with our partners to treating all returnees with dignity and fairness while upholding our national security interest. The public will continue to receive updates from the relevant ministries as developments unfold. Let me squeeze this message in here quickly before we go on. If you are being deported from the United States of America and you're coming back to Jamaica, please, if you were in friggery and foolishness in the United States of America, please leave it there. Please come back to Jamaica with a clean mindset, trying to get your life together, fresh new outlook on life. Don't bring the friggery back with you. You've been warned. if you notice how Jamaica's police have been playing lately, them a ramp rough. So, if you're coming back to Jamaica with your badness, you might be coming back to an early funeral grave if you don't get a funeral. Alright? Them are gonna dash your way eventually. So, come back with a clean mindset and come back with the mindset that you are, if not here to build or help to build your country, be here to build or rebuild yourself then. Quite as it's kept, yes, Jamaica is expensive. Yes, things have changed a lot. But there are freedoms and opportunities here. You just have to put your mind to it and put your shoulder to the wheel. Right? Now, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang and Foreign Minister, Senator and Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith say that the government has been closely monitoring these developments in the deportation trend and that the systems are activated to manage any potential increase that we might see in these returns. So again, whether it's 5,000, 4,000, 2,500, they are saying they are ready to receive them. And I think for the most part, that is what most law-abiding tax-paying citizens who are worried that there will be an uptick in crime and violence and there will be a lot of thousands of loose people hanging around the island with nowhere to go, freshly deported, lost, and trying to survive, even if it means criminal activities, and how that might affect the law-abiding tax-paying citizens of the island, especially where safety is concerned. They want to hear those in charge come out and say something, right? So I think that is where Senator Kamina Johnson and Harsh Chang comes in. All right? We're going to leave it right there, so. And I hope that things work out in our favor. And my closing message is to those who are coming back. You don't have nothing to do with crime and violence. Jamaicans, again, I will tell you for the up-teen time, let's stop with the stigmatism. Let's stop looking at our people like everybody that's coming back from foreign is some big criminal and them get caught, call them murder, rape, pillage, and plundered somewhere else, and you are standoffish. Majority of the people that are coming back that are labeled deportees are not criminals. They simply overstayed. And now they're back. Them come back at them yard. Jamaica is theirs as much as it is yours. And yours as much as it is theirs. So welcome them back and do your part to help them to feel comfortable in their home so that they can reintegrate with some level of ease of mind, peace of mind, and get on a good path. It benefits all of us to be so. And for those who are coming back broken-hearted because, boy, things did not go on for you are foreign, or, it did look a better this so. Just look at it like this is a temporary uncomfortableness and also a blessing in disguise. I keep on telling the story of the individuals that I know who went back to Jamaica forcefully because they were deported, and at first they didn't see their way out. They just thought, damn, this is the end. I don't know how Jamaica work anymore. I don't really have no links. I'm not going to be able to survive well. And these individuals, after they got through the uncomfortable process part, they now live lives that are thriving. And if you ask them now, a couple of them have said to me, boy, SouFLo, it was a blessing in disguise. God know. Yeah, man, cause look at my life now. Me never live good like this at foreign. And I swear I was going to live good like this at foreign one day or another, right? But it took deportation and me coming back to Jamaica to realize that I could put certain things in motion here and make things happen for me here. And now I'm happy because I've accomplished the life I've always wanted right here in my own country where nobody can fling me out of. So again, those coming back, don't look at it like this is the end of nothing. You come back at your yard. Alright? Reintegrate, stay away from foolishness, and put your shoulders to the wheel and put your mind to work, and you should be alright. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.